everybody, and welcome to Indianapolis, Indiana, for a track that has been clamored for a return to the NASCAR ranks for quite some time now. But tonight, we're going to do a little throwback to when perhaps NASCAR raced here, or perhaps just some drivers paying tribute to their favorite drivers. Tonight, we run the Northwest Super Late Model Series, brought to you by Joe's Racing Product. The Northwest Tour presents to you the race number 1 of the Mountain View Classic and NASCAR Throwback Weekend live on LSR TV. Hi everybody, I'm Greg Rentz. Joining me in the booth and in the production truck, as always, Charles Wooten. And Charles, this is going to be special. We have not only a track that has been clamored for many years to return to the NASCAR ranks, but we've got Throwback Night as well. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I know we were talking to some drivers earlier, and they said if you don't have a throwback, go get one from Trading Paints. Then followed up by, it's not mandatory, but go get one. This is Throwback Week, and I've already seen some Folgers, or at least one Folgers car out there. And, quite frankly, Folgers something I'm very accustomed to, especially at these 10 o'clock broadcasts, which 8 o'clock your time tomorrow morning. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but here at Lucas Oil, Indianapolis, IRP, Lucas Oil, whatever you call it, it's a fun little track.
Very much looking forward to this one. Lucas Oil Raceway is the name of it now. It has gone over a few name changes over the years. It started out as Indianapolis Raceway Park. O'Reilly Auto Parts purchased the naming rights, became O'Reilly Raceway Park, and now Lucas Oil Raceway. But Charles, this track so special. Seen some phenomenal racing in then known as the Busch and Nationwide series, now of course the Xfinity series. It was rumored that it was going to see a return with the trucks. However, they all elected to not head to this track just yet, but someday we hope to see this track back on the NASCAR schedule. But this is a very unique racetrack. You're not going to want to run on the yellow line through the corner as opposed to just about every other track here in the Northwest Tour that we go to. You want to run right around the middle, even up towards the wall, to find the speed around here.
Yeah, this, like you said, it's a different track. It's a fun track. It's different. And we'll see. We're not expecting to see a whole lot of cautions here tonight based on what we've seen. We know the setup is loose, but I still don't expect to see too many cautions. Fuel, not really a concern. Tires, they're going to be a concern, but not for these drivers because they cannot take any tires here tonight. They are going to have to start what they have and just hope for the best.
A quick race tonight, 125 laps the distance. Did not have a B main or a C main tonight. Only 26 drivers able to enter the race tonight because we are on an off night for the Northwest Tour, which normally runs on Sunday nights here on LSR TV. But we decided, you know what? Doubleheader, 2 nights. We're going to do Lucas Oil here tonight for 125 laps. Then tomorrow, we're swinging down to the West Coast, the track that I fell in love with this sport, the track that I attended my first ever race at, Irwindale Speedway in Irwindale, California. Tomorrow night, we hit Irwindale for the second time in series history. Cannot wait to see what happens tomorrow, but we've got 125 laps at Lucas Oil. Seth Frazier won this race last year. Charles, what are you expecting out of this race tonight?
I'm expecting a long green flag run. I'm expecting to, in the post-race show, when we talk to drivers, I'm expecting to hear a lot of complaints of my car was loose. It was a handful, and I really think coming into this race, we're going to see them go from double file, single file out pretty quickly, and real estate's really going to be a premium here tonight. So if you get out of that groove, I have a feeling it's going to be like a super speedway or a plate track where you're going to get freight trained pretty good. So you really do not want to make a mistake or get out of the groove.
And getting out of the groove also goes for the bottom of the racetrack here tonight, as Bryce Clark just found out as he knows it into the wall. He's got to get the backup out. But if you get down, you see that yellow line right there, you do not want to get down there. You want to run in that middle groove right there, the first line. Let's see if we can stick with it right about there where that car is going by. There it was a Richard Petty throwback. I believe that was Jason Day. I think I saw 52 there. We got to get our list of them. Watch Cole Raz here. Watch as he runs by. Oh, well, the camera changed on us. There's Cole coming through. That's where you want to run, right smack in the middle of the corner to set yourself up for the run down the straightaway. You don't want to get too low. Let's see if we get a good look here. Yes, right there. Just watch him go through the middle of the corner. You do not want to go below that yellow line. Right there where Brock Denny was in that green car, about as low as you want to go in the corner.
Yeah, you got to be careful, and this is one of those tracks. It's, I'd have to get the exact banking, but you can see right here, just looking at it, right, especially this view, there's not a lot of banking in this track. So it's a fast track, not a lot of banking, but like you said, it can be very misleading. You see tracks like, some of these short tracks, Bristol, some of these that have a little curb thing, and that can really upset the car. You don't have that, so you have to be conscious of that surface being down there. It looks beautiful. It looks like racing surface, but it's not good.
Yeah, and it's not going to be pretty. As practice continues to wind down, we're going to take a quick chance to thank a couple of sponsors here tonight because it's only 125 laps. We don't know what's going to happen here tonight, so we might not get a whole lot of chances. So we're going to take a chance to thank our sponsors real quick before this race gets underway, and we will be right back with the start here of race number 1 of the Mountain View Classic from Lucas Oil Raceway here on LSR TV.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
To Indianapolis, Indiana, ladies and gentlemen, Lucas Oil Raceway for night number 1 of the Mountain View Classic and Throwback Weekend here for the iRacing Northwest Tour presented by Joe's Racing Products. Speaking of Joe's Racing Products, we're going to turn it down to our Joe's Racing Products pit reporter who has made it to town in order to join us here tonight. Wesley Allen down on pit road, 125 laps here at Lucas Oil Raceway. Cars slipping and sliding all over, just like that one who squeaks through the screen right there. What are you expecting to see tonight?
Well, this is a very unique track. We're going to have a fun time here tonight. This track just over half a mile in length at 1.1 kilometers, 0.686 miles, 4 turns. And to answer your question, Charles Wooten, 12 degrees of banking. This is a track that I've had the privilege to announce at a couple of times in my tenure. This place is fast. It is fun. It is flat track if you want to talk about the straightaways. But we're going to talk about the pits as well. Yeah, you talked about no tires being changed, but they do got to make repairs if they have to. This should be an exciting short track race. What a fun time on a cold Saturday night in January. Virtual iRacing, Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis. It'll be fun. I'll cover the action on pit lane, grabbing interviews, getting stories. as we progress to the checkered flag in part one of our doubleheader weekend here tonight on LSR TV.
And Greg, real fast, gentlemen, I don't want to date Wesley, but you see, he said he's been here before. That is a trend with Wesley. He's been to these tracks in real life, but again, I'm not going to date him, but I'm pretty sure he's been doing this longer than both of us have been alive combined.
Based off what Wesley's
Well, thank
told
you for
me
making me feel old again. I appreciate that.
Well, based off what Wesley's told me in the past, considering when he started broadcasting, I would have been 2 years old when Wesley started his broadcasting career, if that adds up to anything. But we'll see. Yeah,
Thank you for making me feel old. It's going to be a long night. I appreciate it.
He's the most experienced one out of all of us. How's that sound?
So let me get this straight. He was announcing, the races while you were in your terrible twos.
Correct. And now here we are, all working together on LSR TV. You're home for sim racing.
Yeah, I'm getting old. That's what it means. I'm getting old.
I did see some gray hair in his last photo he posted on Facebook, so.
There is a lot of gray hair growing lately, actually. To be honest, we've got to get a haircut again before I go down to Speed Weeks.
Yeah, you're going
down there. Might need to go to Hair Club for Men. I might need to get a Hair Club for Men done as well.
Maybe we'll buy you some
winter. I think his birthday's coming up fairly soon. We can always get him some Just for Men or Rogaine, so.
I'm the one that needs the Rogaine.
Yeah,
I'm the one that needs the Rogaine. Ask Aunt Kathy.
Don't make me feel bad, Charles. I've got gray hair growing. I'm not losing hair. Greg's losing hair. I'm not.
Correct. That is very correct.
Well, I got you both beat. I did get one good thing from my biological father, and that was good hair that's not turning gray. So a full head and not gray. So
one day you're gonna wake up, fella. It's just gonna be. Oh no! Why do you think I don't grow a beard?
I figured it was because you couldn't.
Oh, wow.
Okay, we're way.
It's getting real in here. This is what happens when we have an extended practice here.
Yes.
Here at Lucas Oil, and we're just sitting here watching them get some practice laps. And Wesley, before we got you all dialed in, I was talking about.
Not talking to y'all no more.
No. See, that's the thing, though. If you don't talk to us, you don't get paid. So here's my question.
Okay. All right, what's up?
So here's my question. We were talking earlier while you were getting set up about the unique line that this racetrack possesses. We've been watching it in practice, not down on the yellow line, right through the center of the racetrack. And you mentioned that 12 degrees of banking. Why is it that they choose to run through the middle of the track as opposed to right up on the wall like maybe Chris Carroll was right there in the Skull Bandit throwback, or down on that yellow line? Why do they choose to run the middle of the line with the banking the way it is here?
You think of a racetrack like this, honestly, and precariously of Homestead or Michigan or even Auto Club Speedway before they're going to make it into a half-mile short track in a couple of years, and you think of the word precision banking. Honestly, Charles, this racetrack offers precision banking. You can run the top shelf of the racetrack. You can run the middle lane. You could run the bottom. Hell, you could run the apron if you want to and not get in trouble doing it. I wouldn't recommend it unless you make a bonsai move to the checkered flag, but there's 4 corners, at least 4 different opportunities of lanes where you can really race hard and take advantage of it. You've just got to find what's the best lane around the racetrack. And one of the things that I've noticed as we about saw a car spin there going off the exit of 3 is you can literally, one point of the race, and it happens in real life as well, again, Charles, you could be running the bottom of the racetrack. 30 minutes later, you're running the top of the racetrack, and everybody's running the top of the racetrack. Everybody's back to the bottom. Everybody's in the middle. So precision banking is something that's very used here at Lucas Oil Raceway, and I think we're going to see that happen here tonight. It should make it fun. I would not be hard-pressed to say we are not going to see 2 wide as a premium, 3 and 4 wide as a possibility.
Oh, definitely to be interesting. And Greg, one thing I want to point out here, and this is mostly for the fans, and we'll mention it if we remember anyway at the end of the race. Look right now at this track. You see a little bit of marbles up there on the top of the track. It's fairly clean of a track at the moment, but how marbled up and messy do you think the top of this track is going to be later on tonight?
Well, let's see. It's 125 laps. We have 27 cars entered. Now, before we get more into that, people might be wondering, wait a minute, 27 cars? I thought the series only starts 24. Yes, under normal circumstances, only 24 cars start. However, with tonight's low entry list, because of the fact that it's a Saturday night tonight, uncommon night for the tour. We normally run Sunday nights. Not a lot of people were able to get to this race tonight because of the unique day, so only 27 cars showed up. We just decided, you know what, we're going to start all of them. Back to your question, 27 cars, 125 laps, laying the grip down. I think we're going to see this track get really, really dark throughout the course of the night. Think back to what we saw at Oxford, that race that went dang near caution free. It felt like we had a 150 lap green flag run at some point in that race. So think back to what we saw the track looking like at the end of that. I think we're going to see something very similar to that by the end of the night.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking to see how black this track gets and how much marbling is up at the top. Those little bitty pieces of rubber, and trust me, those little pieces of rubber, if you get up in there to the marbles, it can spell disaster for your car. You know, I've never been on the asphalt side of things on an actual track. The closest I can come to the little pieces of rubber being annoying and harmful was back in high school playing football, and they had little chunks of rubber on the football field, and it got in your cleats, and it was awful. So it was bad then. It ain't good here. You don't want to get up into it regardless. Again, as we mentioned it, and we're going to harp on it tonight, is real estate a premium. I really think it's going to be here at Lucas Oil Raceway. So definitely going to be interesting. However, tomorrow night at Irwindale, I think we're going to see some really good racing there on that configuration.
Oh, I'm excited to head to Irwindale 4 wide, maybe even 5 wide if these guys feel gutsy enough. We had the Northwest B League, the development series to this tour. We ran it last night, myself participating in that race. We ran street stocks at Irwindale, and it was a 3 wide finish for the win between Daryl Tidrick, who came home the winner, Josh Beal, not here tonight, unfortunately, due to other obligations, and then Taylor Krug, who runs in the League only. He's from Alabama, but he runs with us quite a bit. 3 wide coming to the finish for Tidrick, Beal, and Krug. He's gonna berate me for saying his name wrong there the first time. I already know it. I can hear him saying it now. But it was a spectacular racing. They were 3 wide coming through the last 3 laps and then crossed the line 3 wide together. Awesome finish at Irwindale last night in the B League. Cannot wait to see what happens here in this one. Hey, I may have the video of that finish saved. Maybe if we can figure a way out, we can get the finish from the B-League Street Stock race on Friday. Maybe we can get it as part of our pre-race tomorrow night at Irwindale here on the broadcast if we can figure a way out to get it done. Charles, you got any ideas for that?
That's an easy fix. As we get that replay, we get it to me. We can crop it out, put it up here, and we'll let you watch that finish to it. So definitely we'll add that into the pre-roll section, or even during just the pre-show. We'll definitely find a way to squeeze it in. And of course, speaking of squeezing in, we don't have much more time to squeeze in. Only about 2 minutes, maybe a minute and a half left or less before we move into the feature race here. Again, typically we would have the C main, B main, and all of that done tonight. Basically just qualifying in an A main. Like you mentioned, 27 drivers going to make the start. So we'll just have to wait and see how this one goes. I know they talked to the 27th driver coming in, and it was his first start of the race. So coming in, missing qualifying, he was put on a strict no incident limit. So he has to mind his P's and Q's out on the track.
Yeah, we'll talk more about the way that's going to go throughout the course of the day. Final couple of seconds coming down. I almost said final few and final couple, and it meshed together, and it almost sounded really bad, but apologize for that. But final few seconds of practice ticking down. We believe we're going to see the checker flag fall here at 7:30 Pacific time, which is coming up here in less than a minute, and I believe that's when we're going to see the checkered flag fall. We are waiting for confirmation on that. Travis Barnes, winner last time out at Milwaukee, on top of the board. Cole Raz in the number 21 in second. Winner at Nashville. Brock Denny in the Jeff Gordon throwback for the Tucker Dog Special. Third. Nick Bellamy and Chris Carroll, the points leader, rounding out the top 5. And I'm loving seeing all these throwbacks. Can't wait to hit on them here throughout the the weekend, not just tonight, but tomorrow night in Irwindale as well.
Yeah, and I did get a message. We always check social media and posts and stuff to check in. And we're getting reports from Aunt Kathy. She asked, when did Greg get out of his terrible twos?
Can confirm, never. Still
Never.
there.
There you go. He's still in the terrible twos. Here's time is winding down for these guys. Based on that they haven't advanced it, I would imagine they're going to probably run it to the clock on the screen there, either down to 21 minutes, or they even may run it just to the 20-minute mark on the clock and run that time down again. Either way, it's going to wind up very quickly. Travis Barnes at the top. You know, we knew Cole Raz was going to be quick, but Travis Barnes, he's always a threat wherever he goes. He's actually the fastest right now. Could Travis Barnes give him a run for the money here tonight?
Absolutely. He won at Milwaukee last week for his fourth career victory on the Northwest Tour. And it's been a long time coming for him as well, so we'll see how it goes for him tonight. No doubt he's going to be a threat to win anytime he comes into a Northwest Tour race, and here he is going to be sitting there in front once again. We'll see where he starts up, as qualifying was earlier tonight. There's the checker flag in practice, which means it's time to get ready to go down to the grid, because the checker flag has just been displayed, which means it's time to get these guys loaded up for 125 laps.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. We're just waiting for that official starting order to come into play, and we're going to have to reset something on our end real quick. We do apologize. There we go. Now it's getting underway, so we'll go 5x5 for the grid as your starting grid lineup, of course, presented by ComServe Wireless. Going to be a good one here as we'll get there. We go. Now we got some music playing. On row one is going to be Seth Frazier and Dan Lowther. That should be a good little battle between those two. Row number two, there we go. Row number two going to be Briar Reynolds and the 03 and the 37 of Caden Anderson. Row three going to be Nick Bellamy in the 20 and Bart Hector Jr. in the 82. Row 4 is going to be Casey Garber and Josh Washington in the 96 and the 06. And on row 5 is going to be Jason Day in the 52 and Gary Smith in the 79.
Gonna have the Tucker Dog special Brock Denny in the number 64 with BJ Tidrick, finalist from the Northwest Cup Series playoffs earlier this season as well. We got another big name from the Northwest Cup Series here in this one. We'll talk about him in just a moment, because we got to talk about the points leader, Chris Carroll, rolling off 13th. Troy Tarbuck in 14th. Bryce Beatty in the Alan Kowicki Xerox throwback. And then the Northwest Cup Series champion and a guy looking for a championship in the trucks as well, Sean Breitzman, rolls off 16th tonight, one win on the season for him. Levi Allen ran well in the B-League race last night with Brad Carpenter. He's in the Richard Petty throwback in the 31 STP. Ellie Musgrave, the female driver, in the field, with Eric Cheney also making his first main start of the season. Your top 20. Final few cars getting set to take the green flag. Alex Duda, the Rainbow Warriors Jeff Gordon paint scheme, with Isaiah Gill up there as well in the Casey Kane throwback. Cole Raz paying tribute to his brother Grayson's NASCAR Kane and West ride from his win a few years ago, with Travis Barnes behind him in the 8. Bryce Clark, Ryan Wright, and Kyle Matthews tail end of the field. 27 cars for our biggest field of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. And of course, loving this track, we have those famous static cameras. Greg, you know what time it is.
Absolutely, as they come through 3 and 4. Seth Frazier in the Rusty Wallace Kodiak throwback, going to lead him the green with Dan Ladder to his outside. Race fans, wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point harness, because it is showtime, and we're kicking the asphalt Lucas Oil style. The field has a tough task ahead of him here because defending series champion Seth Frazier leading the way. Charles, last year he won this race here at Lucas Oil. So going back to last year, Seth Frazier continues his streak of leading, picking up right where he left off last year. Dan Lowther looking for that first Northwest Tour victory of the season, A-Main wise. Caden Anderson in second. A little bit of a different look on his car, a little bit of a throwback look, but still sticking with his current sponsors. But I like the subtleness there of Anderson, a little bit of a throwback look to some cars from the Northwest in the past.
Yeah, and right here you can see the good little battle we have going on. It's not super tight, but it is getting closer and closer, as right now Lowther, Anderson, and Reynolds are actually running down Frazier, it looks like. Maybe a little bit. They might be catching him a little bit in 3 and 4, but he's pulling away in 1 and 2. So that'll be an interesting one to see how it all plays out. But definitely some good battles shaping up here. But like you said, Seth Frazier, I'm looking to see how he does in the Cup Series, or Cup Series, the Truck Series and the Cup Series in the 2021 season. He did good this year. He's doing good here. He's someone you always got to be afraid. But look at Dan Lowther. He has reeled him in, and we may see a battle for the lead here in the next lap or two.
Yeah, Dan Lowther really is beginning to put the pressure on. Lowther was very strong in that B-League race. After the race at Irwindale, we came here to Lucas Oil, did a non-points race in the street stocks last night. Dan Lowther and Briar Reynolds also in the 03, who's sitting in 4th right now. Both very, very strong runs in those races, both of them. So watch for them to make a lot of noise this weekend. I'm really keeping an eye on the guy in 4th right now, talking, of course, of Briar Reynolds, driving a Bobby Allison throwback, I believe, as you see him out the back there of Dan Lowther. Not Caden Anderson directly behind him, but the car behind him in 4th. I'm keeping my eye on Briar Reynolds here this weekend, as he has shown a lot of speed at both racetracks. That's him right there looking out the back of Caden Anderson. Keep your eyes on that 03 this weekend. He has been very strong at both racetracks.
Yeah, you got the Miller High Life as we'll jump back there and take a look in there. You see definitely a nice looking throwback. I always love, not a beer drinker myself, but definitely love the look of any Miller a beer car out there. It's just that golden red. It just looks absolutely stunning together. You mix it with a white car and it looks good. So maybe 03 on the car, but #1 paint job out there, I think. We'll just see if he can get to the #1 spot. Is the question. Is everybody, like I figured they would do, they're running that line you talked about, and they're just single file. Nobody trying to make too many big moves early on in this race.
Yeah, a lot of drivers showing patience right now. Nick Bellamy in the number 20 in 5th. He was your winner at North Wilkesboro. Won that race on tire strategy, saving tires for the end. Tire management coming in big for Bellamy in that win at Wilkesboro earlier this season. As we can already begin to see the marbles are beginning to build up right along the wall here on the corner. Let's see if we can get another look at it here in the turn number 3 as you're watching Bellamy try to breathe down Briar Reynolds. And you can kind of see it just a little bit. You can see the marbles beginning to form up there. And it's just going to get more and more up there, and that's just going to make it more and more difficult to drive up there right against the wall in the corner. And you're going to see guys maybe begin to migrate a little bit further down the track as the race goes on. Single file pretty much all the way through the field right now. There's a little bit of a battle going on deep in the field there. Didn't see who it was that was battling it out there near the back of the field, but that's about the only battle on track right now.
Something's up with Caden Anderson.
Problems perhaps for the 37 of Anderson.
I believe that was Anderson. He got way out of the groove. Maybe got a little bit loose there. And he sacrificed.
That was Reynolds.
Oh,
that was Briar Reynolds in the 03.
Yeah, I just saw a white card. It was fast as they went by, but yeah, way out of the groove. It looked like he got loose and he lost some positions there. And speaking of loose and out of the groove, look at the front right of the 82 of Bart Hector Jr. He's got some damage.
Yeah, noticed that with Hector. Not sure what happened, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him a whole lot as he runs in 7th right now, trying to reel in Briar Reynolds. A little bit of smoke from some tires squealing in front of them, but as we go on board with Hector, you can see right there the crumple on the nose of the 82 car. I believe Wesley's down there chatting it up with the 82 team to see if he can figure out what may have happened to Hector. As you see Gary Smith and Chris Carroll lurking behind him, two of the Canadian drivers. And boy, how interesting is that? Charles, to look in the mirror and see Texaco Haviland, Davey Allison era, and the Skull Bandit Harry Gant. How cool is it to see him lurking back there in the mirror of a super late model? There's a great look at it. You see Davey right there, and then peeking out there is Harry Gant. How awesome is this?
Yeah, that is a sight to see. You know, the only thing that would make that sight a little bit cooler is if they were the 87 Cup cars. That would just look awesome if those were racing. And speaking of racing, he's back with us. I believe Wesley has got some information down off the radio communications from some of these drivers.
I do. Currently in the 6th position, Briar Reynolds. You just mentioned some problems on the Miller Lite entry. He just said the car is starting to tighten up on him, so he kind of backed up out of the way, let everybody kind of get past. He nestled his way back into position, and he's going to hopefully try to see if he can make an adjustment. When we get a caution flag, he'll come down to the pits. But Briar Reynolds handling issue on that 0-3, but he's okay right now.
Oh, well, let's see if he goes. Oops, sorry. Go ahead, Greg.
I was just going to say, so we're going to keep our eyes on Reynolds. Remember, he was showing a lot of speed all week long at both racetracks, so I don't think that's going to really play too much of a role here. Problems for Ellie Musgrave in the 23, and that is something we didn't hit on in the pre-race, and I want to talk about it. That is a very unique pit entry here. It could be very difficult to get on the pit road there, so Ellie may have been trying to get on the pit road after having something happen, but missed the pit road entry. Not sure if that's the case. We'll see. Looks like she's back up to race speed, and we're going to connection issues now on the number 23, so something may be going sour on number 23. But Charles, I want to see if maybe we can pick up Kyle Matthews behind her, because we can first off get an idea of what it's like to chase down a driver on connections. Let's see if we can go on board with the number 23 in the driver's seat and see what he's seen as these drivers in front of him would have connection issues. Right here, you're on the helmet of the 29 car. Now, I'm going to point out two things right now. First off, if you're looking ahead and all of a sudden the car in front of you starts blinking, it's a scary thought, because, I mean, then you don't know when or where that car is going to come back on. But here's what I wanted to initially hit on. See that little patch of light pavement right there? That is your pit entry. So you have to really, really try to time it carefully to get on the pits here, or you're going to be in a world of hurt. I made that mistake. There you saw a blink out of Musgrave, and when that car blinks in front of you and you don't know when it's coming back, and she now tags the wall in front of him and now chases it down the track. But when you're coming down pit road and you don't know where it is, that's going to creep up on you, and it's already been a couple drivers, myself included, because I climbed in and did some practice with these guys on Tuesday night at this racetrack. It's a very difficult racetrack. Speaking of getting down on the pit road, as Matthews breaks loose, Wesley has caught up with the 23 crew.
I have Ellie Musgrave having connection issues and problems. You see the car number 23 continue to blink in front of the driver on the cockpit. And again, Musgrave said she's never had any issues like this before. She's going to try to wait it out and see if things will improve. But right now, connection issues on that 23.
And Greg, I was wondering if she opted to just go back to the back of the pack and not get in the way, because she was right in the middle of a battle going on, and she very well could have just opted to, put herself back in the back of this and not be a hindrance to the drivers. Because you recall, she's on probation right now too from last week. The week before when we actually raced, we were off last week. She's on probation because of those connection issues. She caused 2 cautions. So I believe she claimed either one of them. So she's on probation right now. She very well could have just said, I'm going to go to the back so that I don't cause an issue and have to face a steeper penalty.
Yeah, 2 drivers entering tonight on probation, and then a third one was put on a very tight leash for missing the drivers' meeting and qualifying throughout the course of the night. But look up front. Seth Frazier has opened up almost a 2-second lead over Dan Lowther and company, but Lowther's under fire now. Caden Anderson and Nick Bellamy, along with Josh Washington, are both lurking now, and Anderson has cleared Dan Lowther, going through 1 and 2, bringing Nick Bellamy with him. So now we have ourselves a battle going on for third. Contact between Lowther and Washington. Lowther's in the wall, and he's going to ride a wall, spin around in front of the field, and we have a caution for the first time.
I did there for a minute, Greg. I didn't think that caution was going to come out, as he is seriously injured there. I would say he's going straight, but he's not. He's not even remotely going straight. As we watched it live, so we won't go back and watch the replay, because I'm more interested in how he's going to get down the pit road, because remember, pit road is not a very wide spot as it is, and your car's turned completely sideways, crab walking. How's he going to get into the pits?
I'm gonna say it right now. Call the tow truck. We'll see if he can pull it off.
He's going to try. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it. And he does. He makes it on pit road. A very tricky one to make it on. You know, going down pit road like this for him.
So bizarre. I love it.
Hey, Charles, I get the word cattywampus on pit road for Dan Lowther. As he comes down in front of me, you see him crab walking. You use that analogy. I use the word cattywampus, but he's going to make a repair, and he'll be ready to go good as new again.
No fast repairs, so he's got to get this manually fixed. So they got to do something. They got to take the rear end. Now, I don't know what they're going to do, but I think it's a safe bet that Lowther's night is done in the number 63. Whether he makes it back out on the track. Whether he makes it back out on the track is a different story. Wesley's down there going to catch up with the boys in green down there, but I don't foresee that car getting back out anytime soon.
Yeah, you know, we're all race fans here. You know where I'm going with this, I'm sure. What happened right here, this reminds me of a very specific, very famous movie that Tom Cruise played in. And you remember the segment where he says there's good news and bad news. The good news is the car was running. The bad news is the transmission is screwed. And that's, I think that's where he's at right now.
Hey guys, it's going to take about 8 minutes. They're saying it's going to take about 8 minutes for him to get that car fixed. So he's going to come back out on the racetrack, but he's going to be several laps down.
And
by the way, speaking of throwback colors, who remembers Superflow? What movie? What car?
We were just talking about that movie.
We were. A very famous movie, Days of Thunder.
Well, there you go.
Although that paint scheme did not feature in the movie, I like the different twist of the Superflow colors there from Dan Lowther on the 63 car.
It was pink and black and white whenever it was pink and black and white when Cole Trickle drove that car.
And I'm going to be honest, from that movie, that is my favorite paint scheme from the movie, the most underrated paint scheme from the movie, in my opinion. Everyone else goes with either the City Chevrolet car or the Mellow Yellow car from the end of the movie, and you see the occasional Rowdy Burns car, but that pink Superflow car, most underrated one in the movie, that paint scheme doesn't get nearly the love that it deserves. I love that paint scheme.
Yeah, that's true.
I definitely agree. You know, while we're under caution, it's a perfect segue for, by the way. You know, it's almost, that car was, I honestly did not think he was going to make it. I thought they were going to have to tow. And speaking of good cars that are good for towing things, carrying things, moving things, of course, Mountain View. This is the Mountain View Classic. Polaris. They got lots of stuff. Now, I've heard they got snowmobiles, which we probably wouldn't use in Texas, but lots of good things there for towing, pushing, pulling, getting over things. So make sure you check them out on their websites. And Green Flag is back out, Greg, and a good race so far. We're already under 100 laps to go with 93 to go, 92 next time by.
We were able to click him away, and the only reason that we went under caution was because we started seeing the setup come into play. I want to talk a moment about the setup. It's a very, very loose setup, but they are running this same setup both tonight and tomorrow at Irwindale, just with a gear change. The setup was actually, I believe, built with Irwindale in mind and then tweaked a couple of gear changes to run at Lucas Oil. So these guys very, very, very loose, especially on corner exit. I was kind of surprised that the incident happened on corner entry, because I told you before we went on the air, Charles, that I thought right about here, I thought turn 2 exit was going to be the problem spot here tonight, but I was kind of surprised to see it happen in turn 3 there.
Yeah, I really was as well, and the caution is out once again, and it looks like it's going to be for Jason Day this time. As we take a look at the replay this time and see exactly what happened. And that's the 52 of Jason Day is right next to the 24. We'll see DuPont and STP. Now, this is an old retro battle going on right here.
Did you believe that? Oh, that happened in front of him. Big wreck. Wow.
Yeah, we just saw him slow down.
Garber's involved. I think I saw Isaiah Gill. Let's take another look at that. As Ellie Musgrave has damage. Let's go back a little bit. Let's pick up maybe, yeah, Isaiah Gill. See what happened back here.
And I believe this is coming up here in just a moment. And
Ryan Wright's there in the 69.
Yeah, the 69 and the 31.
Right there, Carpenter and Garber get together to start this. We're going to have to take one more look at that, watching the other STP car, Brad Carpenter and Casey Garber, to see what happened here. There's some contact right there in front of them. This was the lap before, though. That was between Barnes and the 04. Watch going in right there. There's a little bit of contact right there, not a whole lot, and then
and just
come back
all
up the track
breaks loose.
Yeah, and I think the one that got the worst of it would probably be the 69 of Wright there.
Yeah, he definitely got the worst. We'll take one more. This time we're going to on board with the 69 and see exactly what Wright saw. As you'll see him here in a minute. You'll see some smoke sparked right there. And then it just kind of breaks loose in front of him and really just nowhere to go. He thinks he's safe, and then he has to think again.
Unfortunate. Second caution of the day, and now I'm wondering, now that we are under our second caution in a matter of a couple of laps, I'm wondering if we're going to start seeing a caution breed caution type race for the rest of the night.
Yeah, hopefully we don't, but it is a possibility, as cautions do breed cautions typically in racing. It's just an unfortunate thing. You know, and people wondered, you know, if you're not familiar with racing, why do we say cautions breed cautions, and why do cautions breed cautions? And, you know, my personal opinion, and I'm sure that varies from person to person, but, you know, you get in a groove when you're on green flag racing, and you kind of get into that moment, and you're just sitting there kind of doing your thing, you're racing, everything's good. And when you get that momentum and that focus broke, and then you have to regroup again, and you have people around you, you can get you out of that groove, get you a little bit off, and then when you have another one, because somebody's not quite as focused, then it leads to another one, and people just start getting frustrated at a certain point. You know, and that one caution that was an accident turns into frustration, and then more just happen.
Lights go off on the Ford Mustang pace car. About 20 laps from halfway. About a 30-lap green flag run to start the race off, and then from then on, it has been a couple of cautions back to back. So we'll see what happens now. By the way, Anderson and Frazier setting up with each other. Frazier won the championship last year. Anderson was a lot of drivers' picks in the garage area to win the championship this year. So this is a pretty big battle up front here. Then you got Bellamy and Washington, another driver who's really been beginning to threaten for victories here in the Tour as well. Green flag back in the air. Keep your eyes on that 06 of Washington. As well, the 82 of Hector creeping up into the Tour as well. He wants a win as well in this series, as Frazier able to clear Anderson for now. Bellamy comes to the inside, the Wilkesboro winner.
Yeah, these guys are not done, as they're still side by side. A little further back, you got the 06 and the 82 of Washington and Hector Jr. They're still going on. They're still too wide. A little further back as well, but, you know, these guys got his single file as quickly as they could. There's still sparks flying back here. So we're going 3 wide for about 15th place.
It's a dogfight. Oh, one car on the wall, another car on the wall, another car on the wall.
It is the 41.
Levi Allen flipping. Car on the wall, car on the wall, car on the wall flip. Levi Allen goes for a ride, and unfortunately his good weekend in the head of speed bump here at Lucas Oil, and he might be moving on to Irwindale. Just get ready for that race. Let's see what happened here. This started up in front of him right there. There's the initial breakout. Then you get the wall, then you get the wall. Freight train there, and the Allen just whoop, going for a ride.
And we love to do it, so we'll take one more view. This is on board with the 41 of Allen, and you'll see, yeah, like you mentioned, right up there in front of him is where it really all started. They were getting a little beating and banging up there. And right there's where it all started, and it just kind of broke loose. And again, same thing, had nowhere to go. There you see it, and it gets into the back of Ellie Musgrave, and sparks go flying, and he goes upside down.
Under caution here. Lucas Oil for the third time here tonight. Seth Frazier's led every lap so far, but Anderson lurking in second. Frazier's just been so strong on these restarts, though. I think it's going to take a mistake by Frazier, and you can already tell that. His car is hooked up on short run. It's hooked up on long run. Frazier's going to be tough to get around.
Yeah, he is definitely going to be tough to maneuver around. I think it's going to take a mistake by him, and those are rare. Seth Frazier does not make many mistakes. Not saying he can't or won't, but I'm saying it's rare. And like I said, he's fast plus the real estate. And keep in mind, we have not had anybody come down pit road that did not have damage. And we kind of expected that. We figured they can make it on fuel. They have no tires they can take. So these guys are just going to have to fight it out.
Definitely interesting for the second half. I believe Wesley Outland has caught up with the driver, the number 41.
I am back with another Joe's Racing pit report, and we're going to catch up with Levi Allen. We just saw what happened to him getting airborne in the 41. Levi, what's your take of what happened, and are you done for the night?
I'm still on the track right now. I'm going to try it, but I just did a huge barrel roll and landed on my lid. I just had nowhere to go right there. We're all stacking up.
You know, one of the things we did see was Ellie Musgrave was having some connection issues. Do you think that might have anything to do with you getting caught up in your part of the wreck?
It might have caused my car to turn right in the wall. I don't know. It didn't seem like my car should turn right in the wall, but it might have been because there's an internet issue that caused it to amplify it and causing me to go in the wall, but I'm not sure.
All right, we'll see how things go the rest of the way. Drivers, that's Levi Allen in that car number 41. He is all right, but again, he is badly damaged after that accident.
So Levi Allen gonna try to finish this one out. Good luck the rest of the way to Levi, but man, this is going to be an interesting one. Eric Cheney took the tap out on that one in the number 76, so he will take the tap on this one. Jason Day tapped on the last one, and Brad Carpenter tapping, I believe, on one as well. Only confirmed tap outs that we have so far is the green flag back in the air. Seth Frazier continues to lead, about 15 laps away from halfway. So Charles, beginning this latest run here, we saw a 30-lap run to start the race, and since then it's been kind of a calamity fest right at the restarts. Looks like things are settling down a little bit on this run, though. Do you think this is the run where drivers like, okay, let's get this settled back down? No, as I say that, Cole Raz and I believe Bryce Beatty have getting together off of turn number 4. They save it. We're able to stay green, but besides that, do you think we're going to start seeing them get settled down here?
You know, I think it's going to go one of two ways, Greg. I think they're going to settle down, or they're going to ramp it up even further, and we're going to see even more cautions. Hopefully, it is the first option of those two. But on the flip side of that, you know, if we have a couple of cautions, these guys get bunched back up, we're going to see some good racing for sure, as they won't get as spread out. So, you know, I'm kind of torn, but I think these guys, knowing what we've known so far this season, I think they'll probably calm down a little bit, at least at the front half of the field. I think these guys are going to take it a little calm. This back half, they're trying to get to the front. That's another story.
Yeah, it's gonna be getting go time pretty soon for these drivers back around 10th or 15th. Guys like Brian Reynolds, who's fallen all the way back to 12th position, he needs to make a run here to the front, but he's got the heavy damage on after catching the wall earlier, so he may have a tough night at the office remaining. Anderson trying to stick with Frazier right now in the number 32. doing a nice job of it. Then you find Nick Bellamy, North Wilkesboro winner. Haven't really seen much out of Bellamy since that win at North Wilkesboro, but there he is riding in third position right now, doing a nice job hanging on to it. Josh Washington back there, Bart Ector Jr. rounding out the top 5. He's under pressure though from your points leader, Chris Carroll. These guys were 1-2 in points entering Nashville. Haven't seen the updated points, at least I haven't, since that race from Milwaukee, so see how it goes from there. Carroll and Hector battling it out for 5th right now.
Yeah, they are definitely got a good little battle going on back here. And, just the history, if you look right here, is actually, we're going to lose one. The Folgers car falling back. You had Folgers, Aveline, Skull right there all together. Again, it was a good little battle going on there. And I believe you're on the side of that 82 machine there as well, Bart Ector Jr. As I see that, it says Rent Hector. So you've made your presence known. You're on the side of the car there, Greg.
Yeah, I got my name on the side of the car here on this one. Bart Jr. driving. Big thank you to Mike Wood for painting not just that car for us, but for so many drivers in this race and series here tonight, running a Mike Wood paint scheme here, and that's just one of the many of them. I mean, some drivers, they just found these paint schemes lying around. They're like, I'm going to do that one. But a lot of these, even the throwbacks, a lot of these are Mike Wood paint schemes that he has whipped up in his shop. Big thank you to Mike Wood for helping us out. Caden Anderson painted quite a few in them as well. I know he painted his own. I know he painted the 64 of Denny, the Jeff Gordon throwback from the big wreck at Vegas a few years ago. So a lot of great painters getting a lot of great work out here tonight.
Yeah, they definitely are. And absolutely just astounding paint jobs as always. And, we don't usually just throw out compliments to other companies out there because, those are they're not our partners, but he definitely deserves the great work he does. They look amazing. Looked a little better before he got into the wall with it, but speaking of getting into the 37 of Anderson, almost into the back bumper of the 32 of Seth Frazier, as he has caught him, and we'll see if Bellamy is going to catch him as well. And you get a good shot there. Those brake rotors are absolutely glowing orange, almost matching the paint job for Caden Anderson right now.
Anderson really breathing down Frazier's neck right now, trying to get him going. We're about 2 laps away from halfway. Things beginning to settle down here. Halfway going to be at lap 62, so about 2 laps away from that. Frazier leads, Anderson second, Bellamy third. Nice run for Bellamy. I can't say it enough how big this is for him. Been kind of quiet since the win at North Wilkesboro, and here he is running up in the top 3 here once again. Anderson trying to get around Frazier. Again, Frazier defending champion. The 37 of Anderson. A lot of people's pick, probably the favorite to win the championship this year. 1 win on the year for him at Oxford. Wilkesboro winner in Nick Bellamy. Then you got Josh Washington and Bart Ector Jr., 2 guys who have had a lot, and I mean a lot of speed this season. Just haven't found victory lane yet in the big cars. Washington, a winner in B League racing, just hasn't been able to get it done in the big cars just yet. There he is, another great run for him in 4th. Going to be halfway this time by, Charles. So first half of the race down as Anderson takes a peek to the bottom. What have you seen so far? What do you expect to see for the second half?
Seen some really, really good racing, and we've seen a few cautions. We've had 2 cautions, I believe, maybe 3. So 2 to 3 cautions and 62 laps. If we continue that trend, it's definitely going to be a very low caution race, and that seems to be the trend that we're going towards right now. As we zoom out here a little bit, and you can see everybody's single file. Nobody's pressing the issue. There's no fires to get to right now. However, I have a feeling, with those last, I would say 20 laps to go, we're going to see some fires lit, and hopefully, we don't see any wildfires spread, but I definitely think we're going to see those fires lit and people are going to go to the front.
We're going to see fireworks for sure before this one's done and over with, because it is heating up. As you see, our drivers beginning the breakaway that are going to be making their presence known in this one. Top 9 breakaway right now. Back to Travis Barnes and BJ Tidrick in that Folgers car, tagging on the end of the caboose. As now you see Hector begin to fall off a little bit, forming the second pack between him, Carroll, Gary Smith, Travis Barnes, and BJ Tidrick. Josh Washington, not really a member of either, up in front of them, kind of hanging back from the top 3, but broken away from the top, or those next 5. Cole Raz and Brock Denny trying to get up there and join it as well. You see Tidrick looking low at the end, or underneath Barnes there, just past halfway. Kind of 2 distinct groups right now up front.
Greg, and I want to point out here for anyone that's tuning in here tonight, I know the view count a little bit lower than we normally have here, but then again, it is a Saturday night. We're not used to running on Saturday nights, but we will be here on Sunday as well. But I want to point out that we just hit the 1 hour mark live on air. Keep in mind, we had 5 minutes, so we always give 5 minutes to pre-roll, give the fans time to get a drink. Like, hey, we're live, we got to get something to drink, something to snack on, and get ready for the broadcast. And then, of course, we had a 20-minute pre-show. We've only actually been racing here for about 35 or so minutes. We've already completed 67 laps, going to make it 68 at the line with 57 to go. So this race going very fast.
Yeah, clicking away very nice right now. Coming up a little bit past halfway again, 125 laps as Travis Barnes makes a pass on Gary Smith, and they almost get together. Going through turn number 2, Barnes, there you see him in the white number 8 car with Smith, the USA winner, in the Davey Allison throwback right there in the 79. Then you got Tidrick running, I believe it's a Tim Richmond inspired scheme. I'm not sure if that's the Richmond or the Ken Schrader version. Believe looking at it, that's the Richmond one that Tim Richmond drove for many, many years. And kind of a different look for Tidrick this year. Last few weekends on NASCAR, or last few seasons on throwback night, he's gone with the Tabasco Fiasco inspired cars. So interesting for him to go Folgers this year. Kind of different look for him. I like it though, for sure. You got Cole Raz running one of his brother's paint schemes from his NASCAR K&N West days. Up front, Frazier in the Rusty Wallace Kodiak car. He's leading the way.
Yeah, and you know, every time I think of Tabasco and Tabasco sauce, I'm really torn. Like, you and me both, we love hot foods. You know, I can't get enough hot food. Habanero, ghost pepper, whatever I can find, I love it. However, Tabasco sauce, I cannot stand that stuff. I don't know what it is about it. I don't like the flavor of it. I can't even get to the heat of it because I just don't like the flavor of it. It's got a weird flavor, but maybe it's good in chili or something like that, but I haven't brought myself to try it yet. So I'm happy he's running Folgers because I like some coffee, specifically some iced coffee in the morning for a 10 o'clock broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, you have late days as it is because we have so much other stuff that goes into it, not just broadcasting with LSR TV. You've got Race on Texas duties as well, so you have some long days, so that Folgers definitely helps you out. And to go back to your other point there, try it with breakfast, talking about Tabasco. Try it with some eggs, some sausage. Try it there. That's where it really works out the best.
So we'll rename it Tabasco sauce. We're just gonna call it egg sauce. Just call it what it goes good on, but definitely good. And yeah, we'll definitely be needing some coffee as next coming weekend. I of course will be out of town all weekend, Friday and Saturday, and I'll be back for the Sunday race, but we will race from 4 p.m. to probably 8, 9, 10 o'clock on Friday night. And this is go-karts, of course. And then we turn around and we will be back racing at 9 a.m. till probably 9 p.m. On Saturday. So we will race all day long, 18 different classes of racing.
Going to be a fun one. Cannot wait for you to show me video of that one, and it'll be hopefully available on the Race on Texas YouTube channel. Battle for second. Nick Bellamy was able to get around Caden Anderson. He took a stab at Frazier and it didn't work out, and Bellamy was able to get by on the high side. So we haven't really talked about this a whole lot because we haven't really seen a lot of passing opportunities here. Lap traffic also beginning to fill the windshield of Frazier. That's Fatback Bryce Clark in the number 10. That is his real nickname. I'm not being mean. That is his real nickname. him. Matter of fact, he actually challenged me. How many times can you say fatback here on the broadcast, Greg? Well, fatback, I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to say fatback, so I'm just going to say fatback as much as I can right now and see if I can get my fatback count up.
Well, I'm honestly surprised you haven't said it before now, but yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about a little while ago was, real estate being a big factor, and he made his shot. He tried to make a move. It didn't work out, and it cost him a position. Luckily, it didn't cost him more than one. But that's the thing. You really can't get out of that groove. I think it's going to come down to Seth Frazier making a mistake on the track, and quite frankly, I don't think that's going to happen.
So we'll see how it goes. Closing in on 45 laps to go. We're inside 50 to go now in this race. Another case of lap traffic coming up. It's Alex Duda in the number 22, the Rainbow Warrior inspired car. Bellamy's taking a shot at the lead here in the number 20. Thought about maybe the same thing as Anderson did, but backed out of it. So I'm wondering if Bellamy saw what Anderson did, saw where Anderson made his mistake, which allowed Bellamy to get the second spot. Wonder what he's going to try to make the pass here on Frazier.
Yeah, that's the one good thing about being second, third, fourth, or in this case, third, fourth, fifth. You get to kind of see, okay, he tried that, it didn't work, so I'm not going to try that. I'm going to go a different route. So you have those advantages of really seeing what's happening in front of you. The worst person right now is probably Seth Frazier. He can't see what's really going on behind him. You cannot mirror drive. If you mirror drive, that's when mistakes are going to be made. So he has to just run his line, hope that these guys don't find something and be able to get a run. Because if they do, then he's got to react. Right now, he's just got to run his line. And right now, if you're Bellamy, you got to hope Anderson doesn't come in, as it looks like Washington getting really loose coming out of the corner.
Washington really tagging on, though, and keeping with him. But with him getting loose like that, when is that going to allow Hector, Carroll, and Barnes behind this to make their move in the 82, 97, and 8? As Hector now, he might be seeing Washington breaking loose, and he might be thinking, all right, time for me to try to make my shot here on Washington. Bellamy with a slide off of turn number 4. With Anderson back on offense in the number 37.
Yeah, we've seen this. Just about everybody has gotten loose, with the exception of Frazier. I don't think he's scraped the wall. I don't think we've seen him get too loose either. So this is where it's going to get interesting if you're Seth Frazier. We know Frazier is cool, like a little cucumber under pressure, but how long can you hold that car steady when the tires are wearing on it? At some point, I think maybe he might bobble just a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be him making the mistake. I think it's just these tires going to be wearing out. Again, you mentioned it, I mentioned it. They cannot take tires in this race, which means they have been on the same set of tires for 85 laps, going on 86 right now. They've got to be wearing down pretty thin right now.
Yeah, these tires are really beginning to heat up here, and with 125 laps on these tires at the end of the race, they are going to be screaming. Meanwhile, up in front, let's go on board looking out the cockpit of the 32 of Seth Frazier, because I want you guys to see what he's seeing right now. Right there, that is what he is seeing, a hornet's nest of lap traffic ahead of him. He gets around Dan Lowther in the 63. Next up, trying to figure out who we got here. We got Kyle Matthews in the 29.
And caution
this is
out.
Ryan Wright. Caution is out. So Frazier going to be able to catch a break, as he doesn't have to deal with it for now.
Yeah, I'm not sure who the caution was for. We know it wasn't at the back of the field, Greg, as that's where we were watching. So trying to do our due diligence here and see if we can figure it out. But again, we were passing the rear of the field, so not sure where the caution would have been here. We know
Isaiah Gill tapped on it, so we'll see if we can pick up the 14 of Gill, because he has tapped out on this one.
We'll take a look here. And this obviously a little after the caution was already out. So here we go, racing with the probation driver, and right there he just gets into the back of Ellie Musgrave.
Yeah, so Gill tapping on that one. And again, we talk about probation, but Isaiah Gill tapped, that's it. That's where it ends. he will not be in any more trouble. However, that is a strike. You're only allowed 2 per race. So for Gil, he's got a mulligan. He's used it. So now he's just got to make it another 35 laps or so.
Yeah, and you talk about the tap rule, and it's kind of a self-policing thing. They do have a board that changes from time to time as to who's on it, and they review all those. However, when it comes to the tap out, I know a lot of people, there's naysayers out there. Wow, it's self-policing, blah blah blah. There's favorite. No, we have already seen it. I believe it was BJ Tidrick. One of the admins tapped out twice in park. So, the self-policing doesn't affect just certain drivers. It's everybody. It doesn't matter if you're an admin or a regular driver in the series. If you cause 2 cautions and tap out twice, you're done for the day.
Yeah, 2 cautions, 2 taps, done for the night. And on probation if it's 2 taps. If it's 2 taps in one night, regardless if you tap both times, you're on probation. So, again, that's the self-policing rule that the Northwest Tour has implemented since the start. And drivers, Charles, noticing they are communicating how many gallons of fuel they have left. They are beginning to be concerned with this. Remember, Caden Anderson, Isaiah Gill and company lost Iowa on fuel mileage. So drivers are beginning to express concern with the fuel mileage and how much longer they can go.
And that really shocks me, too, because I figured we would be good on the fuel, and we've had a couple of cautions. So that is very surprising to me that, fuel is coming into play with the cautions when we already thought we might be good. So, yeah, this could get very interesting when it comes down to it. And, not to mention the fact that, of course, the sponsor here, Mountain View, coming on board is the Polaris there. They've put money on the line here, so I believe it's like 100 or 150 or something like that to win, and that's not just tonight. That is combining both nights, I do believe, is how I heard it correctly. So
yes.
If you're going to run out of fuel, that's something you really have to be leery about, because not only you're racing for points, you're racing for the green stuff, the dough, the money.
All about the money. Wesley Allen made some rounds there under this last caution, and we're going green. So, Wesley, give us 2 laps to document the restart, and then we'll turn to you with updates on fuel mileage. As the green flag falls, we're back underway. Frazier
and we got a car front, and caution.
Cole Raz on race communications. Travis Barnes as well. So, a couple different
Tidrick
things.
is the one going around. So we'll quickly look at this so we can talk to Wesley and get his thoughts real fast. And this was so we didn't even go real far back. This is just on the restart when this happened, and I'm wondering if the 21 may have got to his back bumper, or if he just spun and the 21 gets to his back bumper and spins him around.
I believe Cole Raz did tap on that one. No, BJ tapping on that one as well. BJ Tidrick tapping.
Let's take one more look at this then real quick. From the drone view, of course, brought to you by All American Pools. And take a look and see what happened. Did the 21 get to his back bumper? I think he did. No, BJ was already getting a little loose before he ever got to him, though.
So he's going to tap on that one just in case. BJ has been kind of the leader as far as that goes, as far as leading by example with the tap out rule. Even though he said, hey, I don't think I was involved in that, I'm going to tap anyway. Wesley, you finally get a chance to tell us about some fuel mileage. What's going on?
Everybody that I spoke with for the time being during this Joe's Racing Products Pit Report is all concerned about fuel and the distance. Even the leader, Seth Frazier, is saying when we're under caution, I'm cutting back, trying to conserve. You see him staying to the bottom of the racetrack, not to be at the top of the banking of the 12 degrees around the speedway. Same thing with Bellamy, the same thing with Caden Anderson. In the top 3, all drivers not worried about tire wear for per se, but definitely about fuel to see if they can go the distance.
fuel mileage coming into play here. And here's something we need to mention, Wesley. Green, white, checkers. What's going to happen with that if we get into that ballpark, if we're already cutting it close?
Yeah, that's another scenario that hopefully we don't have to open up that can of worms. They can go the scheduled distance. But I do have a feeling, though, the way the conversations were, that if this race does go into overtime, they are really going to be in fuel mileage trouble.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be something these drivers do not want to see. About 25 minutes or a little over 25 laps to go. Lights still on the pace car. We have one commercial that we got to get in every single time because they're such a great sponsor. So let's get that one commercial in real quick. And by the time we come back, we might be able to go racing right off the get-go. You're watching race number 1 of the Mountain View Classic from Lucas Oil Raceway here on LSR TV, your home for sim racing. Here we go, pace car coming down pit road, which means shootout time here at Lucas Oil. 25 laps to go. Frazier's led them all thus far. And I said 25, actually 27 to go when we go green.
Close enough, Greg, as laps are winding down. 27 laps to go. Frazier out front. He has, like you said earlier, led every single lap. Bellamy behind him right now. And this is good. Oh, well, it was good for Bellamy and Anderson, but now they're going to get into the outside wall. That's going to cost them a little bit of time, but not too much overall. I think they'll hang in there. Anderson really got the worst of it. And surprisingly, single file here is they're not going to go too crazy. I figured they would here with about 20-25 laps to go.
I think you're going to see patience for Bellamy for about another 10 laps. I think once you get to lap 110 is when Bellamy's really going to begin heating it up because now it's go time. Well, I don't know. He's putting pressure on Frazier right now, and he knows. Frazier won this race last year. He's tough to pass here, and Seth Frazier, this is the race that really started his run for the championship last year. Was this race. This was the turning point in his season to really build momentum for the second half of the season and then eventually park it on that championship stage. It was this race that turned it around for him, and here he is once again having another fantastic run. Travis Barnes with a big slide there in the back. Something has happened to Hector as well in the number 82 as he is on pit road in 26th position, several laps down. Problems for the 82 of Hector. Not sure what's going on.
Yeah, and showing him out of the car, so he has got out of the car and either packed it up in the trailer or something, like you said, has gone drastically wrong for him
up in the top
race.
Five. Up in the top 5 for a large portion of this race. Getting word it's a power outage for Bart Hector Jr. at his race hub. Power outage done for the night while running in the top 5. That is a heartbreaker.
Yeah, and you got to keep in mind, these are sim cars. We like to think they're as real as they can be, but they are sim. So losing the power in your house, about the equivalent to engine failure. That is the one thing that runs, I almost want to say like a cylinder down or a head gasket blown or something. Really, your computer would be your engine, but maybe this is equivalent to out of fuel. I'm not really sure as we're coming up on 20 to go.
So definitely going to be interesting. Hector going to fortunately have a good chance at redemption tomorrow night at Irwindale, but unfortunately going to be the end of his night.
Yeah,
Bellamy though lurking on Frazier.
Not the way you wanted it to go for sure. And of course, especially when there's a big chunk of money on the line, again, thanks to the sponsor, Mountain View Polaris. So definitely not the way you want it to go, but this battle for the lead, it's starting to heat up here with 20 to go, 19 this time by. We very well could see one of these top three sitting in victory lane. The question is, does anybody have anything for Seth Frazier?
I think Bellamy and Anderson have something to say about it, but question is, does Frazier agree with what they have to say? Because it is getting down to go time for these drivers. Bellamy and Anderson are definitely going to be applying a lot of pressure here on the back bumper of the 32 for the rest of the race. It is go time for those two. For Frazier, if you've saved anything throughout the course of this race, it's time to use it now. These three, they're going to be racing hard from here on because it's those three broken away from the rest of the pack. Josh Washington lurking there in fourth. I think it's between these three unless the second pack of three can get a run.
Yeah, and just now I saw the 32 of Frazier scrape the wall. That's probably the first time I have seen him make a mistake on track, as he has just got to keep smooth. And let's go on board here with that there and just watch and see on his helmet cam and see. And he's really smooth right there. He gets maybe a little bobble, but just look how smooth he is getting in and out of these corners.
Fantastic job by Frazier in the number 32. As you see lurking in the mirror, you can see both Bellamy and Anderson making their presence known. He's not out of the woods just yet, coming to 15 laps to go, but Seth Frazier doing a phenomenal job right now. And remember, he's angry as Anderson's able to get by Bellamy for second.
Bellamy just flat spun him there as he was trying to get by, and that's going to bring out the caution with 15 to go.
So Anderson in the 37.
Take a look here. We'll go straight to the drone cam, and you'll see Anderson, like you said, right here. He's going to make the pass to go by Bellamy for second. He gets him, and then here comes the crossover move from Bellamy, and he just slides up the track, and right there, it just gets his back bumper.
So, going to change the players up front as Anderson go the back of the field. Nick Bellamy is also tapped, and Anderson is not happy.
I could imagine he would not be too happy with that one. And there is no rule in this one. A lot of dirt tracks where I go and film, there's a rule. If you get spun like that, they give you your spot back. There's no rule like that in asphalt racing. Typically, if you get spun, it's a tough break. Sorry for your loss, but you got to go to the back as well. You were involved in the caution. That's how it is here as well. So it's unfortunate. The best benefactor of that is going to be that 32 of Seth Frazier, Greg, as those were two people that were right with him in that group, and now they're both at the back of the field.
Yeah, those are the two best drivers here with or as far as giving pressure to Frazier. They've been with him all day. They had broken away, the top three had, so now Frazier is now in new territory because now he's got to defend Washington and Barnes. Travis Barnes has crept his way up there. We talked before the race if you thought Barnes would make some noise. I said yeah, he's always a threat, and here he is late in the race up in the top three once again, making noise.
Yeah, I really think that 32 of Seth Frazier, he is sitting pretty to get, that, what's this stuff? What color is his number there, Greg?
For which one?
The 32. What color is his?
His numbers are green.
Green. See, like I said, I think Seth's in a good position to get some of that green.
Yeah, he's setting himself up for that. Speaking of green, we have another race for some green coming up here on LSR TV tomorrow morning.
We do, and we'll be bringing back Justin Prince will be back in the booth with you, which means all the fans out there don't have to listen to me anymore. So we'll be back for that one, 10 a.m. Central Time. Of course, you and Justin on mics, and I'll be in the production booth. And then again tomorrow night we go for round number 2 of the iRacing Northwest Tour presented by Joe's Racing Products. Another 125 laps at Irwindale.
Yeah, looking forward to it. 2 very awesome races here tomorrow here on LSR TV. I can't wait to see the iRacing Super Speedway with the trucks for this race. I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, that one's going to be a fun one. And of course, don't forget, Monday we have the season finale of the Truck Series, as we'll have Wesley back on pit road just like he is tonight. And of course, yourself and Justin Prince, as that is our typical normal Monday crew. So we'll bring them back for one last time on Monday night before we get ready for season number 8. And of course, the season number 2 of the Cup. If they do continue with the Cup or possibly Xfinity, we'll find out when the schedule is released. And then, of course, Tuesday we're off. Wednesday we have the Shake and Bake. Thursday, me and you will be back for some slinging dirt. And then I am off for the weekend till Sunday as I head out to do some real racing. So looking forward to that. But the green flag is to pack out, Greg, as we are racing with 9 laps to go.
9 laps to go and a lot of great racing on LSR TV, but first we got to get through this finish. Frazier has broken away from Washington. Barnes trying to get around Washington, who was having connection issues under that caution contact. Barnes in the wall a ton there off of turn number 2, and that's going to allow Frazier to really open it up now.
Yeah, Barnes may need a new fire suit after that one. That was a hard lick to the outside wall. But he keeps it going here. 8 laps to go. Could be 7 to go for Seth Frazier and that Kodiak throwback number 32 machine. And he is setting himself up very well. And, you know, Greg, this is exactly how I pictured this race would go. After we saw the two get together back there with Anderson, I really figured this is how it would go. I figured we might see a little bit more of a lead by now, but still, there's about a 3 to 4 car length lead, and Seth Frazier's just checking out further and further.
Battle for second, though. Barnes not done with Washington just yet. Remember, Barnes is going for back-to-back wins here in the Northwest Tour, so he wants a win here to keep that streak going. He wanted Milwaukee in the last race to get the monkey off his back. Can Frazier get the monkey off his back tonight, or would Washington be able to sneak up there? Chris Carroll, the Snowball Derby winner, is up there as well. We're coming to 5 laps to go this time. Frazier's opened it up, but it's a battle for second.
Yeah, open hand there from Barney the Flagman. He's giving them the 5 to go. And a little bit of a wobble there from the 06 of Washington. Travis Barnes going to maybe try to capitalize off of it. No, but Travis Barnes is going to get a little loose and wiggly there as well. As I think Wesley would say, something like shaking and a baking and a wobbles and bobbles and something like that. I don't know what that thing is, but he was cattywampus. We'll just go with that one.
Wiggle and a giggle and a bobble and a jiggle.
There you go. That's what he says. Seth Frazier out front right now, and boy, has he checked out. He's laying the keys on the counter right now, Greg.
Yeah, he wants to come by, just click these last few laps off, and it's going to be Frazier's race to lose here if this thing stays green the rest of the way. How about Casey Garber and Cole Raz, though? 2 guys were caught up in problems earlier in the race. They have fought their way back up to 7th and 8th, respectively. And Sean Brightsman, this year's Cup Series champion, up in 6th right now, trying to get around Gary Smith for 5th. Quiet night for Brightsman, but another solid night.
Yeah, another very solid night as we're going into turn 1 and 2. As we go down the back stretch, and we'll pick up your leader as he's on the back stretch right now going into 3 and 4. This time by, it will be 1 lap to go.
By white flag, CRN 1 to go. Seth Frazier trying to go wire to wire. He just needs 5/8 of a mile more, and he will have his 5th career Northwest Tour victory. He's moving into 2nd all-time, his solo possession of 2nd all-time, as he is in a tie right now with Anderson and Barnes. It's a battle between Barnes and Washington for 2nd, but his 5th Northwest Tour victory. Seth Frazier gets it done. Drag race to the line for 2nd. Barnes gets him.
Yeah, Barnes gets him by 0.022 seconds. We didn't get to watch it real close. Let's take a quick look at that replay for 2nd place before our leader does his celebrating. And you'll see right here as they're coming down the back stretch. We already know who won, but the battle for 2nd was on. Washington have a little bit of a connection issue. Look at this dead even battle right here.
Fantastic stuff from Barnes and Washington. Carroll there lurking as well, but Barnes wins the drag race. Great finish here for second. Barnes and Washington, but burning it down on the front stretch. Well, actually, it looks like he just parked it. Veteran move by Seth Frazier. He's a former member of Garrett Evans' pit crew, and Garrett Evans is known for that, just parking on the front stretch and getting out, waving to the crowd. Seth Frazier, your winner, going wire to wire here at Lucas Oil for his 5th Tour victory.
Definitely is, as we'll quickly take a look at your unofficial race results. And a good one for sure. Seth Frazier getting the win over Travis Barnes by over a second as he checked out from the field. Again, second place going to be Travis Barnes, followed by Josh Washington. We'll be talking to those top 3 here in just a moment. Chris Carroll, Gary Smith, Sean Brightsman, Cole Raz, Casey Garber, Brock Denny, and Briar Reynolds going to be your top 10 here tonight, Greg.
Troy Tarbuck with his best finish of the season in 11th with Bryce Beatty, Jason Day, Ellie Musgrave, Isaiah Gill, your top 15. Caden Anderson charges back to finish 16th. Levi Allen, after barrel rolling down the backstretch, comes home 17th. BJ Tidrick, Nick Bellamy was up in the top 3 for most of the race before problems happened. Kyle Matthews, your top 20. Other drivers took the green flag, include Brad Carpenter, Eric Cheney, Bryce Clark, and Alex Duda were your lead lap cars. Brian Wright, Dan Lowder, and Bart Ector Jr. with his worst finish of the season, unfortunately, with the power outage while running in the top 5.
Unfortunate for him, but still one more piece of business to take care of. And again, Greg, gonna be good to talk to these top 3.
Yeah, definitely going to talk to the top 3. We're going to thank our great partners here at LSR TV, and when we come back, we'll have our top 3.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom T-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized. I mean, we'll do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold, to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customers. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees at yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Welcome back to Lucas Oil Raceway, ladies and gentlemen. Seth Frazier picks up his 3rd win of the season over Travis Barnes, and the man who got 3rd place, Josh Washington, is standing by with Wesley Outland.
I am Josh Washington. A pretty strong, valiant effort down the stretch. The 06 machine was real strong there and just simply ran out of time. What's your take of the race here tonight at Lucas Oil Raceway?
It was a good race. I had fun. It was a handful to hang on to. I was sweating pretty good there at the end. It felt like I was falling off pretty good.
Seems like there was a long stretch of caution flags right around about 40 laps into things. And another thing people were worried about was fuel strategy, fuel mileage running out. What was your take on that?
Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention until they mentioned something, and then once I took an eye on it, I tried to save it a little bit under cautions, and then I think we were all right after the second caution there.
Is there anything you can from this race tonight at Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis virtually to prepare for the race at Irwindale tomorrow night, part of our doubleheader?
Just stay on the outside and keep it straight and away from the wall, pretty much. That's about all you can do.
All right, buddy. Thank your sponsors on the 06.
Leonard's Automotive Machining, Fidelity Title, all my family that's watching, all you guys here that put the stream on for us, thank you. And the guys that put on the tour here, it's fun to be a part of it.
Gets himself a top 3 podium finish to open things up for our doubleheader coverage this weekend. From Lucas Oil Raceway, driver the number 06, Josh Washington. Charles Wooten is standing by with the runner-up of the race of Travis Barnes.
Indeed, Travis Barnes with a runner-up spot here tonight, second place. No stranger to being in the top 3 winner's circle talking to us. Travis, you had a fast car here tonight. You were on the move to the front. Had you had another caution, maybe a chance to catch up, or maybe 10 more laps or so, do you think you could have caught it with Seth and given him a run for his money for the win?
I'm not even sure. The car, I was just giving it all I had at those last 5 laps, just trying to find anything I could, and was overdriving it. So I'm pretty sure Seth would have took off from me. I just had no tires left at the end. I was just trying to hold on. But yeah.
Get to that point of tires. There were no tires allowed other than what was on the car. Did you get a chance? Did your crew tell you what the percentage was there? How worn out were these tires? And how badly would you have loved to come down and got a set?
I would have loved it. The right front was at 50%, and that right rear was chewed down to 47. Tire temps obviously went down. We got a couple cautions in a row, but the tire percentage was really rough.
Getting less than 50%, and on some of the tires, 50 for others. Tires halfway worn down. We talked a little bit about the fuel starting to be an issue. How much of an issue was it? Were you afraid if we went into overtime you weren't going to make it on fuel?
I wasn't really worried about that. I had 7.6 when they first told us about the fuel issue, and working my way through the field, I didn't have to use the throttle as much, so it conserved some fuel, so I wasn't really worried about it.
If fuel not a concern for you, you come in second place here. Who do you got to thank for that second place finish tonight?
No Clue Racing, my mom, my stepdad Kyle, and my whole family for being there for support. And I'd like to thank Jack Franks for all my talent, my crew chief Robert Richardson.
Well, there you have it there for a minute. I thought he was about to say no clue. He didn't know who he was going to thank until he said racing at the end with Travis Barnes coming in second place. And I believe Greg is back and sitting with our race winner, Seth Frazier.
And I know he's got something up his sleeve. So Seth, we'll get the important stuff out of the way first. 5th career win here on the Northwest Tour, first of the year, and back to back here at Lucas Oil. First off, what is it about this track that just fits your driving style?
I think a lot of it has to do with I just haven't qualified very good here, and it's so hard to pass here that getting the good track position early can really pay dividends in the end.
Getting out there on the pole and having that first run about 30 laps green flag, you opened it up about 2 seconds over the next guy in front of you. So once that turned into a caution precaution race like it did there for the second half, what was going through your mind knowing that you had the fastest car in the long run, but with all these restarts, it just kept opening up the door for something to go wrong?
Well, I think Caden and Bellamy both definitely had something for me on the long run. It was just trying to limit the mistakes and not make any mistakes on corner exit. That was the key.
Well, Seth, it was definitely a big one for you here tonight. Next week we had not next week. Tomorrow night we had the Irwindale track with kind of similar characteristics to this place. What are you expecting tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow me and Barnes and Washington will have to start in the rear, so we'll have a long ways to go to get up there and battle for the win tomorrow. But I think it'll see, similar to tonight, I think you'll see some good green flag runs and quite a few cautions at times too.
Well, we all know what's coming next, so let's see what you got. Who you got to thank?
Well, I want to thank Mike Wood for painting all these cars up for us and taking so much time out of his days to make us all look good. We got to thank Brad Morrison for sponsoring this weekend with Mountain View Polaris. It's pretty awesome for a lot of the local guys to be supporting us on iRacing here. And I want to congratulate Greg. For those of you who don't know, Greg's in a serious relationship. Just because she's in her 60s and just got out of prison does not mean that any of us, think any differently about you, Greg. So we're happy for you.
I was ready for it, and I still was thrown off by it.
Oh, wow.
I knew something was going on. I just didn't know what. I was ready for whatever got thrown, and I still wasn't ready for that one. Nice one, bud.
Thanks,
Seth Frazier, your winner here tonight.
Oh, wow. Charles, did you get all that?
Well, I think we lost our producer because I think he's too busy laughing about that one.
Here we go.
He's laughing too hard.
I was going to say, I'm not even going to let you throw it to me, Greg. I'm just going to give my final thoughts on tonight. One, it was a great race, a very short race, but we'll come back in less than 2 hours. We'll be back tomorrow night with, in my words, part number 2 of this race. We'll see how it all works out here for the Mountain View Classic Part 2. And on another note, at least we know Greg's not a gold digger.
Oh, my God.
I will say in closing, always a fun time here at Luke Oil Raceway. It was a good event. Congratulations to Seth Frazier on picking up the win. And we'll get ready for Irwindale tomorrow night. And, Charles, old women need loving too.
What you guys can't hear, or what you guys may have heard, was the microphone banging against my head. Well, I got about 24 hours to think up something to get back at Seth. But I don't know. I'm thinking, I don't know. We'll see what happens tomorrow night at Irwindale Speedway. Same time that we were on the air tonight, just past 7 p.m. Pacific time for warm-ups. Another great field expected. 125 laps coming your way at Irwindale Speedway tomorrow. For Wesley Outland down on pit road and Charles Wooten manning the cameras and with me in the booth, I'm Greg Rentz. Thank you so much for coming out tonight and playing from Lucas Oil Speedway. We'll see you tomorrow night at